Hey, horror fans, welcome back to another episode of Terror Talk where I discuss creepy clips online. The original horror music that you hear in these videos is composed by me. Now imagine being able to save on everyday expenses and put that money towards your next horror movie outing, spooky decor, or haunted carnival excursion. Be sure to watch all the way through as I have something that will help feed your next horror adventures. Now let's get into it and have some fun.
My friend Derek and I rent a house together. He's a pretty big partier, though, and often stays out really late, or even sleeps over at others' places, so a lot of nights I have to myself. This was one of those nights where Derek was out at the club or something. So, having the night alone, I brought out a couple cans of beer to our front porch.
That would be a pretty nice setup, wouldn't it? Let me know in the comments below if you would like a setup like that, because if I had a roommate, which I genuinely don't want, I feel like finding a good roommate these days is going to be a real hassle. I might actually have to get a roommate at some point in the future, who knows. But yeah, let me know if this sounds like a great setup to you, because honestly, I would love a setup like that if they're going out half the time and I have the night to myself more than half the time. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you would like a setup like that, because that just sounds like the perfect way for it to be, you know?
And sat on the swinging bench we had set up. It was nice weather out, and with it being nearly midnight, most people were sleeping, and the neighborhood was pretty quiet. After being out for a little less than an hour, a person came walking down the street in front of the houses. He looked like a large guy and had a sweatshirt on with a hood over his head, but something was off about the way he was walking. He was very stiff, like only his legs were moving and his whole upper half wasn't. When he got up to the part of the road my house was in front of, he stopped and looked over at me. I waited a few seconds for him to say something, but he didn't say anything. He just stood there in the middle of the road, right in front of my house, and looked at me. "Hey buddy, you need something?" He stayed quiet for a moment, then started walking up my driveway. I stood up from the bench and yelled at him to leave, but once I realized he was getting pretty close, I hurried inside and locked the door behind me.
Yeah, I feel like I would do the same thing, because the whole demeanor itself is pretty suspicious, isn't it? And why is he walking like that? Why are his legs so stiff like that? I wonder what could be going on with that, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think is going on with this guy, because I feel like he made the right call by going in, because any kind of suspicious behavior like that, you really can't trust someone like that, so good for him for going inside.
I then watched out the peephole as the guy came right up to the door. He waited for another second before pulling out something from under his sweatshirt. It was hard to see from the small view I had, but it looked like maybe a hammer or crowbar or something. Once I saw that, I knew what was likely about to happen. I ran upstairs and locked myself in the bedroom, dialing 911 and trying to be quiet. I could hear the wood splintering off the door downstairs as I pleaded with the operator for help. Then there was a loud thud and silence. The broken door swaying on its hinges was the only sound. I waited anxiously, only assuming that I'd hear the guy's footsteps approaching the bedroom door at any second. But seconds turned to minutes until I heard a cop car pull into my driveway. I thought about running down to the officers, but the operator suddenly told me through the phone to stay where I was and wait for the cops to get to me, so I sat back down. 30 seconds later, I hear one of the officers walking up the stairs, followed by them shouting and firing off a taser. The guy had been standing right outside the bedroom door, as if he was just waiting for me to open it.
That was a really smart thing for the operator to tell him to just stay there because if he had opened the door, that would have been a really bad thing. So good for the operator. And honestly, this is just so creepy. Like, a home invasion is probably one of my worst nightmares, honestly. And the fact that he's using a crowbar to get inside the house, that's not normal because most people, I feel like when they can't get in, they just leave. So I think it's a pretty abnormal situation for someone to actually like break down the door solidly like that. It's just way scary. So he got lucky in this situation, I think.
He was arrested and apparently was very drunk, but I have no clue who he was or why he did what he did. As far as the officers have told me, the guy wouldn't even say why he was walking down the road or what he was even doing there. All I know is if I had opened that door, it would have been the last thing I ever did.
Yeah, that's honestly just what I was saying. That would have been the last thing that he ever did, most likely. And the operator saved his life by telling him to just stay put until the cops came because I don't know, there are some definitely sick individuals out there, and for even if he is drunk or was drunk or whatever, like that just goes to show how unstable the guy was in the first place because I mean, who the hell breaks down a door like that in an invasion type situation? But yeah, I definitely thought this was a creepy story, and I hope you enjoyed my commentary and the music. And be sure to check the pinned comment below because I have a really cool opportunity for you that will help you start saving money and potentially making some money for your next horror adventures and activities, whether that be going out to the movies or a convention or a horror circus. I actually went to a really cool horror circus recently. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, just be sure to check that out because it is a great opportunity for average individuals to start saving and making some more money. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.